All right. We are here with Chat with a Lebo Alum, episode 5. We've got Mattie Schmidt and Molly Merrick, and they are 2017 grads, and we're really excited to have them share some of their experiences from their time at Mount Lebanon. So first, we'll have you guys introduce yourselves. So Mattie, you're on the left, so you can go first. Where are you at now, and what events did you do in high school, and things like that?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Mattie Schmidt. I'm using someone else's computer, so that's why it says Emily. But I'm going to be a senior at Virginia Tech, not running there, but I was mainly a 400 runner in high school, did the open 4 and occasionally a relay, but I was mainly like the 5th or 6th man, I guess, so an alternate, but yeah, that's where I am right now.
All right. How about?
Hi. Oh, sorry. I'm Molly Merrick. I'm going to be a senior at Notre Dame, also not running there. I mainly did hurdles, so 100 and 300 hurdles, but I preferred 300. I think that was all you said to your intro. Yeah, so that's me.
All right. Sounds good. And then, we're just going to kind of start out with just doing some kind of quick fire, kind of quick little things, and then we'll kind of get into some longer, deeper topics and go from there. So both you guys did sports other than track at Mount Lebanon. So Mattie, what other sports did you do?
I did field hockey in the fall, and then winter and spring track.
What position did you play?
I was center defender, so kind of like the last man to the goal.
Nice. And then Molly, what sport did you do?
I played soccer.
What position?
I was a goalie because I was really bad with my feet. So, yeah.
But good with your hands, though. You're able to.
Kind of. All right. Not great.
And then both of you guys had brothers that went to Mount Lebanon and were involved. And so and both of them did track and then other sports. So Mattie, how about the brothers?
Yeah, I had 3 older brothers who went through Mount Lebanon. My brother Sam did track for the high school. He was on the 4x100, actually went to states. And then my other 2 brothers did soccer and hockey. But Sam actually, he did football for, I think, freshman and sophomore year, but then just did track.
How about Molly?
Yeah, I have 3 older siblings, but only 2 went to Mount Lebanon. And Teddy did track and football. And then I think my brother Tommy played like lacrosse for a year, maybe. I don't know. Oh, he did crew. I forgot about that.
Nice. And then Molly, you were also involved in student government, right?
Yeah, Mattie was too, actually. Yeah.
What position?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was president.
Yeah, that was her VP, one of the VPs.
Nice. So what were some of the big things that you planned and like were involved with student council?
Senior year, it was different because I feel like most of the things were like you are just planning what like the dances and stuff. I can't even remember like rather than kind of coming up with your own ideas. But one thing we did that was cool was we did like a cafeteria appreciation day where we like worked in the cafeteria, which was kind of fun. That's like one thing that just popped up.
Yeah, also I remember, I think Molly, was this your idea, the dodgeball tournament?
Yes, I loved that.
Yeah, I think what year did that start? Sophomore? Or?
I think it started sophomore year, yeah.
Yeah, so student council would do a dodgeball tournament during each lunch period, and that was really fun. I know I always helped Molly out with leading it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I think each year we donated the money to a different charity, but I know one year was Brothers Foundation, I think.
Nice. All right, and then now looking at some of the events for track. So both of you guys participated in the 400. What were what was your opinion of the 400? Kind of like walk us through like the race. Kind of how did you feel during the race of the 400s? We'll start with Mattie.
Yeah, so 400, I always kind of had a love-hate relationship with it because I remember it always kind of didn't hit me until like the last 200 that I realized, wow, I'm actually in this race. Like that's when the pain started to hit. And I remember I actually didn't really get down to how like I actually wanted to run the race until my last meet senior year, because I would always kind of start off too slow because I was timid and nervous that I would just run out of gas towards the end. But towards the end, I would pretty much almost full out sprint the first 100 and then just kind of glide down the second 100. And then once I had like 150 meters left, start picking it up again. But I feel like that was just the strongest mentally I had to be during that race, because you really just can't give up is the biggest thing at the end. There's not much left to push, but you just got to keep pushing through it.
Yeah, it's a good strategy for it. I feel like I've heard Coach Carl say that before. Attack the injury, glide on the backstretch, and then finish strong. So
yeah, he definitely taught me that.
Yeah, Molly, what were your thoughts on the 400?
Well, I don't think I ran it that often, unless I like don't remember. But I feel like 300 hurdles was like a similar mindset. Do you want me to talk about that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just say like same thing. I feel like even thinking about it right now, I feel that nervous pit in my stomach. But there's something like really satisfying about it when you know you like, because like if you didn't, it's a painful race. So it's like if you don't try your hardest because of that, you like feel bad about that when it ends. But there's something so satisfying about like when you finish after knowing like, okay, I literally ran as hard as I could have. But yeah, like it was just something that always, same with what Mattie said, like a love-hate relationship. Like it made me so nervous, and before I meet, I would just think about it all day. But then like doing well on it or just like trying hard on it was so satisfying.
And then you did the intermediate and the high hurdles. So which one did you like more between the two?
Definitely 300 hurdles. I really like trying to get the technique for high hurdles, but I just wasn't that quick. So it was like wasn't my strong suit. But yeah, so definitely 300.
And then 300 hurdles, you qualified for Whippeals your junior year, was it?
Yeah, I don't remember which year. There were 2 years where it was like good, and then 2 years where I was like not good. I feel like that may have been junior year. Or yeah.
What was it like competing at the Whippeal meet, being among the top 24 in the entire district?
It's cool because for me, I knew it was like it's not like I like went into it with a defeated attitude, but like it wasn't like I was like a runner to, go further, but it was just kind of cool to like be there and see how like insane people were, but then also just like to go all out. Yeah.
Nice. And then for Mattie, I was looking back at some of things for you for high school, and I was trying to count off all the different events that you competed in. So let's count them off. Can you list what all events you competed in high school?
I think I did the 100 some freshman year, and 200, 400, 800 in winter track, I think. The 4x8, I think the 4x4, long jump.
You did long jump? I forgot about that.
I think I did triple jump. I think they wanted me to try throwing, but I don't think I ever competed. I think those are all the events.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, and I remember we had like we were getting near the playoffs. I think it was your senior year, and we were trying to find a way to like squeeze out every point and maximize points, and saw that you were probably our number 4, and we were only allowed to enter 3 in the 400 meters, and so we thought, how about javelin? And so we actually had you try javelin for a couple of days. That was really fun. So, and yeah, the fun part was you were up for anything. And so you're always good for that. And then you got to travel to a couple of the state meets as an alternate. So kind of describe your role as the alternate and kind of what being at the state meet was like for you as an alternate.
Yeah, so those meets were always a lot of fun, and it was just a really cool experience to go and see like the top athletes in the state compete, even if I wasn't actually going to be running. And honestly, it was kind of nice because I didn't have as much pressure on me as someone who would be competing. It was just really cool to support all your teammates and go and just have the experience. And like it's an important role because God forbid someone gets hurt, like you have to be ready to step in. But it was just a fun team bonding experience. I was actually looking back at pictures from, I guess it was my senior year when we went to states. I think I was an alternate for the 4x4 technically, but yeah, a lot of good fun memories with everyone. So.
Now, did you get to go to Shippensburg and Penn State?
Yeah, I went 1 year. I think my junior year I went for winter track to Penn State, and then my senior year I went to Shippensburg.
Nice. And so if you had to pick, which was the more enjoyable trip, to Penn State for indoors or to Shippensburg for outdoors?
I think Penn State because we went to, we went to Hershey, or no, that would have been Shippensburg when we went to Hershey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. That was fun. Got to go to Chocolate World.
Yeah, our hotel got canceled the 1 year, so we had to reschedule, and we were way up in Hershey. It was like a good hour away from Shippensburg. But yeah. Chocolate World.
And then that was just cool because I think the stands situation was better because inside at Penn State it's kind of hard to watch everyone compete on that small track. So it was really cool being able to watch everyone at Shippensburg.
Nice. All right. So Molly, the one thing I remember from high school, I don't know if I have this exactly right, but one of like the days you came walking in with I think it was a unicycle. Does that sound right? Or with
that
something?
Can't be right.
or like juggling pins, or you came to practice with something that was very unique. I'm trying to remember.
That used to ride to school.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That was kind of weird of me, but I would ride a plasma car to school. It's just kind of weird energy. But yeah.
Nice. And then, so thinking of some of your teammates from high school, go through maybe some of the superlatives of kind of remember some of your teammates, like who had like the best sense of humor, or who was like the funniest teammate, and it doesn't have to be just from your class, just anyone either older or younger than you. Who are some of the funniest teammates you had?
I feel like Molly Mangum was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, Molly was definitely pretty entertaining.
Although Mattie didn't like when the name Barb stuck for a year.
Yeah, I think a lot of Molly's entertainment was to try to push my buttons. No, yeah, Molly was super funny. Also one of the kindest. Very supportive too.
Now, I mean, at some point here, I had it on my list, so we have to come to discuss the whole, how did the Barb thing come about? And so, do you remember that?
Yeah, so my real name is Martha, and I think Molly Mangan found it really funny that my name was Martha. It's kind of an old lady name. And so I think she said, like, that's like someone being named Barb. And then it just went from there on. She was just going to call me Barb. And then everyone started calling me Barb. I think even Coach Carl and Coach Shutt called me Barb a couple times. But yeah, even the few times like Molly's texting me about random stuff, she says Barb. So I just accepted it at this point.
That's funny. How about for teammates in high school? Who was like one of like the most like intense or serious people like at the day of a race or at practice? Who was like very serious?
From freshman year, so this was when they were seniors, so like literally only 1 year, but Jill Lankowski scared me so much. Not because she was mean, but because she was very good and very like intense. And yeah, I remember one time she patted me on the back and was like, "Good luck," and that was like the best moment of my freshman year experience. I was like, "Thanks."
That's right, because she did some hurdling also, right? And she did long jump. Yeah. So
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Like even though she like isn't, I would say, an intense person in general. I remember Corinne rep check being intense on like race days.
Yeah, she was a fun one because she was very happy, and I mean she was a cheerleader, she was very cheery. But yeah, when she got to racing, it was all business with her. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
How about someone who would like maybe like forget their spikes or like like just be all over the place and show up for their event like at the last second, or remember anybody like that?
I don't think I did either of those things, but that feels like me. I feel like my biggest struggle in growing up has been getting myself to be places on time and be prepared. So probably me.
Yeah, Molly, you kind of came to mind.
Yeah, I could tell.
Not a bad thing. But
no, it's not.
You always get there.
Yeah, I've also gotten better. I would hope.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are a couple of superlatives I thought. Could you think of like any others for like labeling people or like on the high school team?
I don't know. I can think of a perfect label, but Caroline Flicker, just in general, she was one of a kind.
What about her for the people who watch this that never knew her?
She was so quiet, but when she would speak up, it was always just something pretty savage or funny, just to like contribute. And she was just a really good runner in general, very humble. So, yeah,
that's a good one. Molly, anyone else you can remember?
I am like blanking. I feel like Rio was really entertaining because you never knew like what she was gonna say.
Who was that?
It was always like kind of funny. Ria Gallardi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I forgot she did track.
Yeah, she did. I don't know. I feel like she definitely did it multiple years, but I don't know which years.
All right. Let's transition to coaches. Through the years, you had multiple different coaches between your different events, and then Coach Wentzel was the head coach your freshman year, and then I took over after that. And so, do you have some memorable quotes from any of the coaches, or any good impressions? Because Molly, you're always good at giving impressions, so. I don't know if you have any good quotes or any good impressions from any of the coaches that you had at high school.
Two quotes really stick out to me. One was with Mattie. We were practicing for a relay freshman year with Coach Wentzel. And he was like, "Okay, when you're passing the baton, like, what did he say? Like, do it eye level or something." And I don't even remember who was passing to who, but after he did it, he was like, "Are her eyes in her crotch?" And like everyone heard it, and it was just like really funny. Yeah. It's not as funny as now, but
I think it was Corinne passing to me, and she held the baton too low. So yeah, he yelled that. It was pretty iconic.
Yeah, that was funny. Another one of my favorite quotes from Coach Latest was like, she was always very expressive, like not in a mean way. It was just funny. And I remember we were practicing starts or techniques or something, and like Grace Copeland goes and she goes, "Grace, that was disgusting." And it was just such a funny, like, it was just so funny. Like everything she said kind of made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I mean, they're all the classic quotes that were on the back of the T-shirts from Coach Wentzel. I remember Coach Carl brought us donuts. I feel like it was Valentine's Day or something. He would bring us treats sometimes, and or he was just, I don't know why I remember this, but he's like, it's all right, girls, you can eat like as many donuts as you want, like nuts are healthy. It was funny.
Nuts are healthy. That's good. All right. So one other high school thing I wanted to bring up. You guys mentioned Coach Wentzel, and Mattie, you were the Coach Wentzel Award winner your senior year. I'll read the criteria here and then kind of like maybe share a little bit. So it was awarded and established by Debbie Fitzgerald. She was an alum from the 1980s and does some really amazing things. She's like a boss of bosses of a place out in Phoenix, Arizona, but she would always come back for our banquets to connect with the team and to share it. But so she created the Coach Wentzel and Coach Schreiner Awards. And the Coach Wentzel Award, the criteria for it was the power of the 3 Ps. The first one was positive attitude. The second one was passion. And the third was personal growth. And so, like I said, you ended up getting it your senior year. So how do you feel that you were able to share positive attitude, passion, and personal growth?
I think it was just me like trying my best in track in general. Because I wasn't a star by any means on the track team or like have any records, but I think just that even though I knew I would probably never be like a record holder for the school or anything, just giving it your all at practice either way, and just having that attitude in life in general, and then just being there to support your teammates and being respectful to your coaches and just, I don't know, kind of knowing that even if you're not the star of the team, like you still can play a big role just by working your hardest and helping out people around you too.
All right, great. And then the other thing I want to ask about with high school is, did either of you have injuries, and how was it dealing with injuries and coming back and that whole process? So Molly, did you deal with any injuries?
I dealt with a stupid injury. Well, it wasn't stupid. It was stupid how I got it. But I had a concussion from track because my junior year, we were practicing hurdles, and I like clipped the hurdle. And somehow the first thing, like we were going at like full speed for this drill or whatever, and somehow the first thing to hit the ground was my face. And I just remember like my ears started bleeding and I like had a concussion. So I was like out for a little while, but not like too long, because it wasn't super bad because my head's, super strong. But that was annoying. I remember because like that week, like at first it was just like I could bike and then like run like a mile or something around the track. And I remember that being frustrating because like it was like I could feel myself like getting worse out of shape, but I wasn't gone for too long, I don't think.
Now, what was the process like working with the trainers to be able to come back and be cleared and kind of get back into competing?
It like generally for me, it like wasn't actually that long. So it was, I think it might have literally just been like a week and a half or something. But I remember like biking in the trainer's room and then like doing like check-ins. And then like eventually after biking, I could like run a mile or something. But it was like annoying, but also the trainers were like super nice and also funny. So it wasn't like miserable.
And then in your event with the hurdles, crashing over a hurdle, did that then make you hesitant the next time out with the hurdles, or how does that work, being in the hurdling department?
I don't think it did, but I don't like fully remember if it did like right after. But at least like by senior year, I don't think I was worried about that, because I feel like it also happened. Like I just remembered this one practice where we were practicing hurdles and like one at a time. The first person who went over, I think it was Matilda, who did track for 1 year. She like hurt something, like her ankle or something. Like she was out after that. And then the people were afraid to go next because they're like, oh, I don't want to get injured too. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. The next person who goes literally also injured themselves and was out. Like it was like their arm or something. I don't know why that just came to my mind because it's not funny, but it is kind of funny.
That was with
yeah,
Coach
no.
Panzik, I think. Or
With who?
Was that with Coach Ladis or Coach Panzik?
I honestly don't remember. It might have been early senior year or junior year. But yeah.
I think I remember that practice. Yeah, this Coach Panzik comes over to me. I think that was his first year coming back with us coaching. It was like his first day. He's like, oh man, you're gonna fire me already. I got all these people hurt. The first day of practice.
Yeah, it was definitely like really slowly because the two people who did it like were new and then they were done. But yeah, I feel like with hurdles, like if you're scared, then there's more of a chance of you falling, sort of. Like if you're hesitant.
That's good to know. You got to be aggressive and fearless with hurdles. So, all right. So shifting to college, both of you guys ended up at some pretty good places, and so kind of curious if you can kind of share with people who go back and watch this, what was your decision process like thinking about college, and what were some of the big criteria that you were looking at for college, and were you thinking about going to a smaller school to do sports, or were you convinced that you wanted to focus on a bigger school and things like that? So Mattie, we'll start with you. What was your process like for college?
Yeah, so whenever I was applying to schools, I knew I wanted to go somewhere outside of Pennsylvania probably, or just a school that a lot of kids from Mount Lebanon usually don't go to, just because I wanted something different after living in Lebo for my whole life and having the same friends my whole life. I wanted to try to branch out. And my brother was at Virginia Tech at the time, and also I have dual residency in Pennsylvania and Virginia, so I get in-state tuition in both states, so I was applying to schools in both states. And I went down there and toured and visited my brother, and just the campus had just such a great feel. Even though it's a big school, it feels like a smaller community for sure, just because everyone there is very welcoming, loves the school. The people who live in Blacksburg love Virginia Tech. So it just had a great community feel. And I knew I wanted a bigger school probably. I was between actually Virginia Tech and Elon's not a very big school. So I think that's really what became the big factor, was that I want a school with football and, I don't know, just kind of a team where after I graduated, I knew it would have a big alumni network and I could go back down there and just, I don't know, meet a lot of Hokies around the country. But I'm political science there, which Virginia Tech's not known for liberal arts. People always ask me if I'm in engineering, because that's what they're known for. But regardless, they have good programs for almost anything since it's a big state school.
So then the big follow-up question then is, for everybody, they want to know, what is a Hokie?
I am. That's what you're supposed to say.
I get stuffed Hokie for Secret Santa.
Yeah, Molly got me a stuffed Hokie for Christmas, which was nice, but it's a made-up bird. I don't know why. They used to be the Fighting Gobblers, and I'm pretty sure, and then they changed it to Hokie, but people have lots of Hokie pride, so.
And how do you feel about the color scheme of Virginia Tech?
Honestly, I feel like maroon and orange are coming into style. Like, I find it at stores a lot, so I sport it a lot. I think it's beautiful. In the fall, they always say, like, God was a Hokie because in the fall the leaves turn maroon and orange. So
there you go. All right, Molly, how about your journey to Notre Dame?
For me, I have family in South Bend, which is like where Notre Dame is. So I had like grown up going to South Bend to see like my grandma and for family reunion. So like it was always on my mind because it's like just always associated it like, oh, Notre Dame, that's a college. that I've seen, and it's pretty. And like, you know, like being there kind of like I had gone there every year, but also part of me didn't want to go there because of that, because like a lot of my family's gone there, and I was like, oh, I want to like do something different. But then also it kind of like was like I knew like if I got in, I would go, like unless I got into like a different like a better school or whatever. Like I had a couple schools that I applied to that were just like complete dream schools. I was like, I'm not going to get in here, but I'm not going to not apply. And then like, I don't know, if I didn't get into like those schools I knew, and then if I did get into Notre Dame, I was like, I'll go there because like it does, like it feels like home for me, which is like, I know a stupid sentiment, not stupid, but you hear that's typical of Notre Dame. But yeah, so sorry, that was like badly told, but it was like always on my mind. And then I got in. So I was like, okay, I'm going.
Nice. And then, so the next question is what all types of things have you gotten involved with in college beyond your classwork? We've talked to some people who have done sports, and they say it's essentially like a part-time job at so many hours. So what are you doing in addition to doing all your homework, of course? What other things are you guys doing? So Mattie, what are you doing down at Virginia Tech?
The biggest thing that I'm involved with down there, I'm in Alpha Delta Pi sorority, and I'm on exec right now, which actually almost is kind of a part-time job. I actually kind of got pushed into being our vice president of finance, which I'm not a finance major or have been passionate about finance or accounting or anything like that in the past. But I mean, it's pretty much just a job that you have to be organized and meet deadlines and stuff. So it doesn't require being a finance major, but it actually takes up a lot of my time. But I've loved being a part of it, and the sorority has given me some great friends and a great ability or platform to be a leader on the campus. So that's the main thing I'm involved with. And then I work out on my own a decent amount. And then between hanging out with friends, doing schoolwork, and then 80 Pi, that usually fills up most of my days.
Nice. How about Molly?
I do best buddies at school, which I really like because I've had the same best buddy since freshman year. So it's kind of cool because I've like gotten to know her and her family well. And then I also like mentor at like it's like a homeless center, but people stay there long term. So I like a mentor a kid there, and like I used to do like childcare work there. And then something I've been doing since freshman year is like tutoring, but it's like in elementary, middle school, or high school classrooms, teaching this like nonviolence curriculum, or like basically like conflict resolution. And that's been super cool because I've gotten to do it like at each level. And it's just been interesting to like, I don't know, like connect with students, or like just like be like listen to their experiences, because a lot of schools in South Bend, like it's very segregated, and like some of the schools are like much lower income and like don't have that many resources. So like there's a lot of like ways to do outreach. So that's been something I've enjoyed doing.
That's great. And then with COVID happening back in March, I was curious to have you guys kind of explain how that affected you with your classwork and your summer plans currently, because you guys are juniors about to be seniors here, and so that's usually an important summer for looking for laying a groundwork for doing some resume building. And so curious how that affected you and what the plans are for the fall. So how about for you, Mattie?
Yeah, so I actually was lined up to have an internship at the FBI in Northern Virginia. I'm a political science major, so I applied to it last summer and went through a pretty lengthy process of getting all my background checks, and they're very in depth with, interviewing everyone.
And you didn't go abroad because of it, like
yeah. For example, I was considering going to Spain abroad in the spring and got accepted into the program. But then I had to choose either to do the study abroad in Spain or the FBI this summer because you can't be out of the country while they're doing your security clearance. So I had to make a tough decision and chose the internship and ended up not getting either because the internship was canceled, which is pretty unfortunate. But now I decided I'm going to take the LSAT in August. So I'm using the summer to study. And so I guess the plan right now is to hopefully apply to law schools in the fall, see where I get in, and possibly go fall 2021. But yeah, just kind of, I knew I wanted to go to law school for a while, but I was going to see what type of jobs I could get after college having this internship. But now that I don't have the internship, it's kind of plan B, but trying to make the most of it.
For me, so I was supposed to study abroad in Paris and then go to Madagascar to do a research project, like something for my minor. Like I had been doing the whole first semester and like into the second semester is basically creating a research proposal for a grant and kind of like getting in contact with this organization. And it was like all in French, and I was like super excited about it because I was like gonna go to Paris and like study there and like have so much fun. And then like I would be in Madagascar alone, but I was just like excited to like immerse myself in French and like do my research there, and just like I was going to be like volunteering at the organization I was researching. And like unfortunately both those things were canceled because of it. So in a way it almost didn't like make me that upset, because I was very upset because I'd also invested so much time into it, but I like, it was such a cool summer that for like months I'd been like, this seems too cool to actually happen. Like I hadn't like accepted that it was really going to happen. So that kind of helped the blow. But now I'm taking a like online class from home, and I'm trying to find a different research internship. I'm kind of just like waiting to see how that pans out. But if it doesn't, I'm probably just gonna like try working somewhere in Mount Lebanon. And yeah.
And then how about since you guys have left high school, have you been training to do any different types of races or athletic events, like a 5Ks or marathons or half marathons, or like CrossFit competitions, or what type of athletic things have you done since high school?
Even though in high school I feel like I didn't do much distance running, in college I've really enjoyed getting into running higher mileage outside. And sophomore year of college I did the Hokie half marathon at Virginia Tech. Prior to it, I think the farthest I'd run was like 6 or 7 miles, so I wasn't quite trained enough, but I was trained enough to survive it and do decent. But I'm trying to get back into running right now, trying to up my mileage and hopefully run the Hokie half this fall if they still have it, and actually be well trained to get a good time. But yeah, I feel like I've developed a good passion for running outside of high school, so that's been my main form of exercise. Yeah.
Also same, I don't run nearly as much as you, but running has been the thing, which I was surprised because I feel like, I mean, it's not the same, but like doing, like now when I want to work out, like I go for a run. I mean, not fast, but it happens. But every year of college, I've been wanting to do the half marathon at Notre Dame. And even last year I signed up and just didn't do it. But now that it's my senior year, I'm like, okay, this is my last chance to do it. It's in South Bend, so there aren't even hills. So I'm just like,
oh yeah, that's
really hoping. Yeah, I'm like hoping that this is the year I finally actually do it. Because I've never run like more than like 4 or 5 miles, and I'm never ready when it comes around. But this year I will be.
Nice. And again, you know, from a running coach standpoint, it's nice to hear that, you know, it's not like whenever you finish high school, it's like, I'm done with running, I'm never going to do it again. And it's something that you can definitely do for the rest of your life. So that's great to hear that you guys are involved with that. any other things to share that you want to pass on, or maybe the one thing is what are your thoughts for the seniors at Mount Lebanon that didn't get the chance to have their spring senior track season and didn't get to have all their normal spring things? What message would you pass on to them or to share with them?
Molly, do you?
I would just say, like, one, I'm sorry that I feel like even just the summer thing was so disappointing, and I feel like that's so different. So like I just would be so upset if I missed, like, that my senior year of either high school or college. And although like I feel it sucks and no one should be able to tell you it doesn't suck, because it does, I feel like in some way maybe it can bring like you closer together with your friends and people in your class, because you can kind of do things to like spend this summer or this time now trying to do things to replace or make up like what you should have gotten to be able to do. And the least I can say is, like, while that's so unfortunate, like you have like 4 years of college ahead of you where you'll be able to do like a lot of great things and make a lot of fun memories, and that won't necessarily replace that, but like you'll still get those great experiences at some point.
Yeah, I like what Molly said. Even though like it is important to have a positive attitude about everything, like it does suck that you're not able to have like your prom and your graduation, your last track season. But definitely know that you have a lot of great things coming in the future with college, or if you're not going to college, and just kind of focus on making whatever's to come the best it can possibly be, because you never know when something like this could happen. I don't think anyone anticipated it. So just make the most of what's to come, and I guess just keep working hard too. Like Coach Shutt said, track doesn't just end like when you graduate. You might not still have that team there, but you can still like connect with your teammates, run and talk with your coaches, and just set personal goals and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, great. Appreciate that. I'm sure the seniors will like hearing that message from you guys, and appreciate it from the veterans. So yeah, thanks so much for joining everything today, and sharing some of your experiences, so that way others can kind of see what it was like to be part of Mount Lebanon track and field, and all the great contributions you guys did, your leadership and everything. Molly in the hurdles, and Mattie in the sprints and relays, and even an 800 or two. That was always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the jumping also. So yeah, I appreciate that from both you guys. And yeah, so I'm gonna wrap that up.